Hey there, brother friends and sister friends. Welcome back to the Heart Set Above podcast, where therapy meets theology and where we explore how to stay grounded in truth while walking with grace, even in the messiest parts of family life. This is part 3 in our series for Christian parents of adult children who are not currently walking with God. Today, we're talking about something that often goes unspoken, but is almost always present: grief, specifically the invisible kind. The kind that lives underneath your fear, the kind that most people don't recognize, and the kind that often leaves you feeling more isolated than you know how to name. If your child's life looks very different than what you had prayed for or hoped for, whether that's relationally, spiritually, morally, or emotionally, then what you're likely experiencing is something called complicated grief. This isn't the grief of losing someone physically. It's the grief of watching someone become someone you never expected or hoped they wouldn't become. When our kids are young, we quietly build a future for them in our minds. We imagine their faith, their values, their relationships, their purpose. And when the future doesn't unfold the way that we'd imagined, we don't just feel confused, we feel heartsick. As Proverbs 13:12 says, hope deferred makes the heart sick. And when that deferred hope lingers, it starts to ache. But here's the hard part. No one throws you a funeral for what you'd hoped your child would be. There are no casseroles, no sympathy cards, no days off. Most people don't even know that you're grieving. So that grief becomes a quiet, lonely ache. And it doesn't travel alone. Grief often brings friends. Shame whispers, if only I had done things differently. Or, what will people at church think? Confusion cries out, God, we did everything we knew to do. Why is this happening? And fear torments with questions like, what if this is forever? What if they never come back to God? What if they're not in heaven with me? All these emotions swirl together until you're carrying a heavy, unspoken sorrow, grief over a lack of control, grief over your own imperfections, grief over unspoken yet unmet expectations, grief over the lies your child maybe has believed and the truth that they've walked away from. This grief is real and it's valid. But here's the good news. It's not the end of the story. There's a phrase I often use in the counseling room: name it to tame it. Sometimes just giving your grief a name, calling it what it is, helps release some of the pressure. I once had a client, a mom, who had been holding in so much emotion around her daughter's spiritual choices. And when I gently said, I think what you're experiencing is grief, she just started crying. And through her tears, she said, finally, someone sees me. And maybe you need that today too. Maybe you need someone to say, yes, what you're feeling is grief. And no, you're not crazy for feeling it. And no, you're not alone. Here's what brings me the most peace as a therapist, and honestly, as a Christian daughter who's been on both sides of this story. God grieves too. He knows what it's like to hold hopes for his children and to have them walk away. He's been enduring that ache since Eden. And he doesn't stand distance from our pain. He joins us in it. Scripture tells us he's near to the brokenhearted, that he collects our tears, that he longs to comfort those who mourn. He doesn't say, hurry up and get over it. He says, come to me, all who are weary and burdened. I'll give you rest. You are not alone in this grief, and you don't have to carry it by yourself. This might surprise you, but after walking with hundreds of Christian parents in this space, I can confidently say most of the time what you really need in this grief is not more information. It's more connection. I've watched parents devour books, podcasts, theology, even therapy, trying to figure out what they did wrong or how to fix their child's life. But eventually, many of them come to the same quiet realization: I already know what I need to know cognitively. What I really need right now is connection. Connection with God, not just learning about him, but being with him, sitting in his presence, letting yourself be seen by him, and letting yourself grieve by him. You need connection with your spouse, laughing together, having intentional positive moments together, remembering that you're on the same team. And you need connection with your community. People who just get it, people who won't rush to fix it, but will sit with you in it, people who will hold up your arms when your heart is tired. These kinds of connections don't erase the grief, but they do help you carry it. So if you've been chasing answers, if you've been Googling, studying, agonizing, and still feel stuck, let me gently ask, what if this isn't a knowledge issue? What if it's a connection issue? Grief and fear are real, they are valid, but they do not get the final word. The story is still unfolding, and God is not done writing it yet. Thanks for being here with me today. If this message stirred something in you, I'd love to hear about it. And if you know someone else walking through this same space, send it to them. They may need to hear that they're not alone. Next time, we're going to talk about how surrender, real surrender, can actually lead to deeper connection with your adult child, even when your beliefs differ. Until then, keep your heart set on things above.